Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of the most high-low episodes of the World's Okayest Mountain Bike Podcast, where your host here, Clint Sylvie, is feeling pretty good about this week and the upcoming BT Epic, which we will be previewing here on this episode. But while one man is on top of his mountain, another is in the valley. Ryan Brown, tell us about it.
Oh,
That's pretty vague.
that's pretty vague. Uh, I mean, I guess there's no other way to put it. I'm not going to be racing.
You're not racing?
I'm not racing. No, no.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not just to clarify, people, Ryan's not necessarily in the Valley of Life. It's more just Bicycle Valley. So,
Yeah.
Ah,
Like,
well, welcome to my world, Ryan.
yeah, great. And honestly, Kyle, I feel a lot like I can relate to you over the last couple years, honestly. So, not in a bad way. I mean, a good way, but life's just caught up. I've ridden my mountain bike one time since I guess it'd be like the second weekend of August. Yeah, I've just gotten super busy. As you guys know, I took a new position at work earlier this year. It's been going great, and I've just been super focused on it, and really just been putting the hammer down. I've also probably committed myself to some other extracurricular activities that took me away from riding my mountain bike or just training in general. So I did a ride a couple weekends ago with Clinton down at Bass, and I didn't feel miserable, but it was one of those where I went, I don't think I want to go do this for 52 miles. um, and I think part of it is I don't want to go out there and ride for, you know, quite a bit slower than I'm used to going. So just haven't had the time to commit to it, and I'm gonna have to bail out this year, and I'm sorry about that.
well, what you really should be sorry about more than not doing the race is not even attending the race, just to hang out with your buddies.
So
That
you're
you
not
should
even
you should be
you're not
sorry.
even coming down?
No, I'm not even gonna come
Get
down.
him, Kyle, get him.
Dang, man. Come on, dude. Come on and hang out with us.
I don't,
I was gonna have you help me with bottle handoffs or something, man.
oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Come camping, dude. It's a great time to come down. I mean, I guess I know you guys just did a real fun camping trip, but like I'm gonna be down and my whole family's coming down camping.
I have camped 5 of the last 5 weekends in my camper. I'm
That's
not,
excellent. Good for you.
I've definitely got use out of my camper. It just comes to a point in life, like obviously the job thing, but also like prioritization. Kyle, you've talked about it, having your little ones, and I'm just committing to my kids, a little bit more, and it just got in the way. I honestly, up until August, I was feeling great. I probably was going to get close to my goal times of, around 5 hours, and it was looking great. But then it just kind of fell apart. I went out of town for a week for work, and then, came back, and just a lot of good things happening with work that I just had to. You got to take advantage of that stuff when it presents itself. I love my job, and I've been blessed with an awesome opportunity in it. With kind of a promotion per se earlier this year, and just kind of taking that by the reins. But it with that comes a little bit more travel, and I have to commit the weekends to my family, and getting out and leaving. And Clinton said this best the other day when we did a podcast. Getting out and spending 7-8 hours on a Saturday away from your family is just it's getting tougher. I hope that maybe I can. As I start getting acclimated with my new position, I can find some balance in it and maybe get back to what I'm capable of next year. But I'm also like committing more time to my wife and kids. So that's part of it. Yes, I could probably come down and hang out this weekend, but I'd probably just cry because I want to be riding. But I also don't want to ride and be slow and be hurting and be just not be where I want to be. So yeah, I don't know. You guys can try to talk me into it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So,
I'll just have my wife call your wife. We'll just make this easy.
well, I
we'll
can't
let
go.
we'll let our bosses do the management here.
Well, my wife can't go because she's got photos like crazy. It's her busy time of the year for work too with her photography. And so it's me. I'm in charge of little man. Doesn't mean I can't bring little man down, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different trip though. Yeah, I get it.
Um, I won't roll it out, Kyle, but maybe we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, no, and so man, I feel for you, and that's kind of been where I've been living at for like 3 or 4 years now. I feel like the best racing I did, the fittest I ever was like fall of 22, and that was when Cam was too little to get much engagement. You know what I mean? Like he was still just like a baby at that point, turning into like a tiny guy. And the having a demanding job, you know what I mean, overall workload that doesn't allow you to connect during the workday at all. It is difficult to ask for, and then even just have a 6 to 7 hour window where you're out. Like, so that's why nearly all of any and every solo ride I get is at the end of the workday within work hours, or it's a 1 hour thing. Like, I'm just going to go bail out. And it's why I've been riding a lot more. I've been, for fitness for me, I've been doing more road than mountain bike, just because if I'm going riding on the trails, I'm just going to throw a kid in the car, both of them in the car. But no, I feel for you, man. It's that's where I've been for 3 or 4 years now. Really, is difficult to be selfish with my time for a 6 to 7 hour fitness commitment. And it sucks, but it's a phase of life. It's not a bad place. It's just your friends will ridicule you and heckle you for it, as I found.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. And I'll deserve it from you, particularly Kyle, because I've heckled you enough about it. But it's a phase of life, It's and trust me, I love it. And honestly, part of my goals is as I've been doing a ton of reflecting, because the last thing I want to do is not race BT Epic. Like I love that race. I love the people. I even saw Scott, the promoter, 2 weeks ago when we were down there, and like I wasn't feeling it, but I wasn't sure I wasn't going to race. But just his excitement for it and putting that race on. Everybody that works hard for it. So it's not something I necessarily wanted to do, but just circumstances the way they are. But I also think like, heck, next year more time with my kid on the mountain bike and stuff like that he enjoys doing. So
Yep.
Okay,
yeah,
well, can we get past all this depressing stuff and talk about
yeah,
me?
good. Let's.
Okay.
Isn't the goal of every podcast, Clint? Tell me, Clint, how are you feeling? You
Says
are
the
five
Kyle,
five
literally the
days
last
racing.
podcast we did was 45 minutes of Kyle's trip.
Yeah, it was a
I don't want
monologue.
to hear
That's
it.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're 5 days out. Are you
Mhm.
where you want to be this year?
Um,
And are you and how much better could you have gotten realistically?
um, okay. So riding wise, I think I did everything realistically I could have. Um, I lost weight. I did not lose as much. I lost about half as much weight as I really wanted to. Um, I'm not going to sit around and cry about that though, but I probably could have done better, but the first 10 pounds went easy. Um, and then I got into getting close enough to the race where like I'm doing like 30, 40 mile, 45-mile rides, and you got to eat, and not just during the ride, but like you've got to eat the day and the day before, or your actual workout's gonna suck.
So
So
how
I know
much
that
weight have
sounds,
you come down? How much weight have you come down from like
man,
January
depending on the
25 to
morning,
now?
I lost about 10 pounds, maybe 11 pounds of fat. Like for sure I lost a solid 11 pounds of true fat loss
That's good.
without really losing any muscle. I, depending on the day and carbs, I probably have gained a pound back of fat would be my guess. I don't know. I know with carbs and hydration that like your weight can fluctuate wildly day to day. But probably the last 2 weeks, I've really just have not been watching what I eat like at all. Um, so I'm a little heavier. Like this morning, I was a little heavier than I wanted to be, but still, I will be carrying around significantly less weight during the race this year with my plan. My body weight's down. I'm probably let's say I'm a solid 8 pounds down from last year, and I'm also never going to be carrying more than one bottle at a time on the course. Whereas last year there were times I had a full bottle and a full pack, which is like 2.5 bottles. I'm not even going to carry my phone. Like I'm gram counting. I'm doing like everything I can to do my best time, and I think my fitness is way better than it was last year. I have not gotten
What's your weight?
any.
What's your weight look like this year versus last year? Are you down from last year?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm down about. I'm probably down at, like I said, probably 8 pounds from last year, same time. And I think my legs are much better combined with that. So
Okay.
my goal is 5.5 hours, which is still going to be one of those things where everything went right. I felt great. And that was the best I could do to hit 5.5. Will be, if I hit 5.5, it will be because race day went perfectly according to plan. But I think I'm ready. I mean, my legs have felt good on all my rides. I haven't gotten any cramps. I think all my fueling and hydration stuff is dialed, and my bike's good. I could I have done better? Yes, but we all could. And the time to lose weight is the winter when it's hard because you're depressed and it's nasty outside. But the time to lose weight is when you don't have to go do 4 and 5 hour rides. Like I know like a lot of people that are not actual mountain bikers or trying to do athletic stuff would think that that's the opposite. They're like, "Oh, that's what makes it easy to lose weight. You're burning all those calories." But in order to make the athletic gains, like power gains, sustainable for that amount of time, like you have to fuel the workouts, not just the race.
Yeah.
Is at least what I've been told by the trail was no, not Trainer Road podcast. They're big on lose the weight really slowly, fuel your workouts, which is basically what I've done. I'll probably be crying, singing the same old song next year. Oh, I should have lost more weight over the winter when I didn't have a race. But I'm forget that. I'm going for 5.5 hours. If I get it, I'll probably end up like you guys next year because my kids are getting older and into more stuff. And if I meet my goal this year, what I'd really like next year is to get someone who maybe has never done this race to set it as a goal. Someone that's ideally slower than me, and maybe stay in just good enough shape to where 6.5, 7 hours is totally doable for me, and just ride along with somebody who's a newbie, but without having to commit so much time to the training to go what is fast for me. Anyway, this year, though, okay, let's get to the part where if you're racing this race, the part you probably actually care about is what is in store for you. If you've never raced this race before, um, or maybe you're somebody, I don't know if anybody's coming up that did Little Sugar this past weekend. From what I understand, Little Sugar is a tire shredder. I don't think the rocks out here are quite as consistently sharp. However, my advice would be just run whatever. If your Little Sugar setup worked, just that's all you need. Run the same bike you ran at Bentonville for this race, and your setup should be totally fine.
Did
Um,
you see, by the way, speaking of tire shredding and Little Sugar, did you see that Taylor didn't flat or have a mechanical at all? I think that is his, honest to God, longest consecutive miles of riding without a failure for the entire year.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, he was
crash.
yeah, he was running some real tires,
What,
from
what,
what
do
I
you,
saw in the
what,
picture.
what do you actually go out with? Did he go out with double downs or what did he do?
He had an Agaro Trail up front, which is what I'm actually running on the rear of my bike.
Okay.
And I don't know, he had a Maxxis something on the back. I'm guessing it was a Recon. Um, I don't
But
know
even
for
like, it'd have to be like Exo Plus, though. They don't even make that anything heavier than Exo Plus.
right. It couldn't have been any heavier than Exo Plus. That's correct. Um,
Good
so
for him.
yeah, it is good for him. So anyway, um, the loop is rougher. It just gets a little bit rougher every year. So I'm going to go through some areas to have your eyes really wide open. I suggest that you run a full suspension bike if you've got one. In fact, a good friend of the podcast and very fast guy, Brad Wadlow, he recently just got a brand new Yeti ASR that he's been riding out there. And he told me he thinks he's going to actually run his pivot. I think he has the Mach 4 because he says the pivot is plusher and maybe it doesn't pedal quite as well, but it's so rough out there, he's going to go with the pivot for race day instead of the Yeti.
Mhm.
And that's a guy that used to be hardtail or die. So,
That's that's what, a 140, 150, 140 bike?
No. It's this. Brad has like three of the same bikes. It's the same. It's a 120 or 120, 130 or 120, 120, something like that. It's a cross country bike. It's the same
But
kind
it's
of bike,
yeah,
but he
yeah.
says it just feels a little plusher in the rough stuff.
Well,
And
yeah. Then a hardtail. It's
no. Compared to his Yeti ASR dual suspension bike.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is
What is the
there's a
final
lot
mileage
of
count?
loose
Is it
rough.
55 or 53? What's the total mileage for the race? I can't remember.
It
He
is 52 and a half.
That's a lot of mileage on pretty legitimate single tracks. Like the single track, there's a fair amount of gravel, but the single track that is there, it's legit single track.
At this point in the podcast, everyone, I lost internet service, so we had to pick it back up. So here's Kyle continuing on what he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that it's that's a lot of single track on a hardtail. And like I said, I know there's guys that do it, have done it on crazier, sillier things. I know Brian Gaynor does it on a hardtail. He did hardtail single speed rigid last year. I raced it. But yeah, no, I would. There's no way I would do that ride. 55 miles in a saddle for legitimate Missouri single track is a full suspension game to me.
Well,
Oh yeah.
and here's the other thing. I'm telling you, this trail has gotten rougher. There's just more. It's been so dry too. There's just more big, loose, eroded rock in trail sections. Every year it gets a little rougher. We've got logging going on out there. We had some really big rains. I'm going to talk about a few sections that are going to be a little more hairy than normal unless they really clean up on the trail, but I don't think they're going to. Well, they are. I know. In fact, I know yesterday Matt Johnson went and cleared all the down trees, like everywhere, because he was on the phone with me and Brad Wadlow getting locations for all the down trees. Um, but uh, it's just rougher. I mean, I moved back to Missouri in 2017, started riding out there, and it's just gotten a little worse, a little worse. A lot of that has to do with the logging, like I said. Um, but we had some big rain, so there's a few areas that have some washouts that you're going to be really tired when you get there, but you need to have your eyes open. All right. So that's first up. Trail conditions overall loose. It's going to be loose. I know it looks like we could get some rain on race day, but I don't think that rain's coming until afternoon. So at least morning's going to be loose. And when I say loose, I mean a couple weeks ago I was climbing the Three Sisters. There were horses out there. It was bone powder dry, as deep as you could dig. The horses had churned it up. And I mean, hind in on the saddle. I'm not someone who ever really struggles with climbing traction. And Brad and I both were like spinning out trying to climb the Three Sisters, just going around switchbacks because it was so dry and loose. Just powder and kitty litter, basically.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of that terrain does, Clinton, is when it gets so dry like that,
yep.
it actually versus getting hard and almost like a clay would do, it
hmm
actually, like you said, it turns to almost like a powder or a deep sand, and it just keeps getting deeper. It's almost like it falls apart versus
Yeah,
sticking together because it's so
that's
dry.
right. It crumbles apart and it doesn't really bake. It crumbles apart and there's a lot of places on that trail that are soft, but when we say soft, we're not talking soft dirt or mud. We're talking like pea gravel type soft,
Yeah.
sand type soft, which is why I run wider. I run 2.6 tires
Yep.
because while I think I get better traction on narrower tires, it's the debate of do I want a lot less weight, but what if
Sink or float.
do I want to sink or float? And I'm trying to float. Um, so that's kind of the conditions we'll be looking at. If you've never ridden it before,
Yeah.
uh, I would also plan your eyewear at least for the first 6 miles. Plan something that's going to protect your eyes from dust. If you're not leading the race, you're going to be in dust. It's going to be a cloud of dust. I might actually have two sets of glasses ready to go. So I've got Silent Bryce is running pit crew for me. He's going to be out there on the roads on an e-bike somewhere, meeting me all kinds of places to help me out, uh, collect bottles or hand off bottles, whatever. I don't even know if that's against the rules or not. I don't care. I'll
I
know
don't
what
think
my time is. I see bottles stashed all over that course. Anyway, I don't think anyone cares. I don't care, but anyway, I'm going
so.
to
Clinton,
start the race with some foam lined goggles that I wear every year. And then once I get, to Brazil, usually you can switch glasses to more traditional because you're not in the pack. It's not as dusty. Um, but I'm running foam lined for the opening road and everything, and I'm gonna have Bryce hand me off some glasses at some point.
Clinton, I'll be interested after the race to find out how running bottles only goes for you. Um, I experimented that with a couple races this year and definitely liked not having a pack on my back, feeling light, feeling cool. Um, but I also worry if I that I didn't drink enough because it's not as convenient, right? So
Well,
I hope it goes good for you. I'd be curious how your post race opinion is of it.
yep.
And
Well, I'll just run through the plan because I think it's a good plan as long as you've got the time either to go stash bottles or have somebody hand them off. Um, I'm shooting for 5.5 hours. I pretty well mix my bottles uh, where I plan to use a bottle an hour, but I'm going to have 6 bottles. So if I'm on pace for 5.5, I should be good. But I've got a plan because the weather does look like it's going to be a little warmer than normal BT epics. So I know I might need a little extra. So here's the plan. We'll just go through the course. I'll tell you what's going to happen. So if you've never raced a BT Epic, it starts at the gate entrance to Bass River Resort. You start on a little bit of pavement, you hit gravel road. From the start of the race to where you get off the gravel road, which is mostly a climb. You're going to climb basically for 3 miles, but it's actually total distance to where you get off onto the trail of the is about 4 miles from the start of the race. All right. It's all gravel road. It's going to be a dust pit. The roadies are absolutely going to fly. And then we enter the trail. And this section of trail is also going to be a dust bowl. It's very powdery on this section of trail. It's lots of actual dirt, not rock. But I mean, Ryan, you and I rode it. It was already powder dry. Really hasn't rained any since then. Doesn't look like it's going to rain until then. I'd expect dust. Unfortunately, they rerouted some of this part of the trail to where there's not really a bottleneck like there used to be on the descent. Now, you're going to go down a descent. It's not too long. Um, you get down this descent, you go into a valley, and then out of this valley is a really steep climb. Takes you from 920 feet, the steep part, up to 1,031. Okay, it's basically 100-foot climb straight up. That's crazy that it's that big, but that's what the elevation profile's showing me here on Trail Forks. Almost 100-foot climb, and it's a freaking wall. And if you got a low gear, just granny gear it, take it easy. But there will be people pushing their bikes up this left and right. Um, from there, your single track at that point in the race, you're about 5.28 miles in. Uh, you've got a good not long descent, not too long after that, some single track. Um, you drop down to a creek crossing. This year, there's no excuse for there to be a massive line and bottleneck at this creek crossing because the creek is extremely shallow. You're not even going to get your feet wet. You're barely going to feel a splash. Now, the bank out of the creek, I understand the problem is it's kind of steep and there's a little root at the top of it. People slip up, they dab. Next thing you know, you got a bottleneck. Uh, Shift down, people. Like, just be ready for it. It's not that technical, but you got to shift your gears. Now, last year, there was a big line at the creek. I sat in line like a good boy. I will not be doing that this year. I don't care where the line is or how long it is. I'm coming by like a jerk because I've got goals. So it just, sorry.
the man's got to
Um,
go.
I've got goals. From then on, you basically have 2 climbs until you get to the descent of Brazil Creek. They're not super steep. They are kind of drawn out, but you basically have 2 climbs after that that are really kind of long, mellow, but you'll start feeling it. Um, before you head up to Brazil Creek. And I'm begging you with all my heart, if you're listening to this podcast, if fate works out where you look back on that climb up to Brazil Creek and there's a guy that looks like a roly-poly in a sleeveless blue jersey that's in a giant bike and he's begging you, please, will you let me by at the top of this hill? Please let that man by. He will show you how to go fast down this hill because no kidding, I lost a full 2 minutes down one hill compared to my cruising speed because I got stuck behind a line of people that absolutely were not going to let me come by, even though I was right on their tire coming up the hill, the whole way up the hill. I was there. Please, can I come by at the top? Please, please. Nope. Um, and I had to ride the brakes, and it took me like 5 minutes to get down a hill that should have taken me like 2 minutes to get down. It was ridiculous. Um, Now
Rubbin's
here's a
racing,
very
baby. Get in there.
I actually did. I took a Sam Hill line on a fire road where I know that cuts off a corner and totally cut off like three people. But I was still there was like a line of five or six, so I was still stuck. Um, Important piece of data though. If you're familiar with this race, the descent down to Brazil Creek, when you get to the really tight switchback turn where there's usually a bottleneck, after that turn, very leaf covered. Hopefully, all those leaves have been down for weeks and they'll be pretty packed in. But as you come across that flat, excuse me, you need to downshift many times before you actually finish that descent because this year we are not coming out of that descent and making a left turn to cross the big creek. We're not doing that. Praise the Lord. I'm glad we're not. So you're not going to get wet. And more importantly, you're not going to get a bunch of sand in your drivetrain, which I've happens even if you carry your bike across the creek. The path out of it was sand covered as well. We are sticking to the right at the fork and going up the hill. So when you come out of that descent, you need to be downshifting long before you actually cross the very bottom little stream creek of it because it's straight up on the other side. Like there's nowhere to get prepared to downshift. As soon as you hit the bottom, you go straight back up and that straight up grade is like I can tell you 8% grade right off the bat. I think no, is that right? You come down, down, down. I don't have it on this map. It's steep, okay? We're talking 8-10% right away. So you need to be prepared to be in a low gear or you're going to be crunching them, grinding them, or walking up and over the hill. So the support station is going to actually be down in the clearing before the highway. If you were to just stay on the regular Berryman Trail loop, that's where the support will be. And that is where Silent Bryce will be handing me my first bottle and potentially swapping glasses for me. And in the bag that I give him, I'm going to give him a bottle that's just water and hydration mix that I'm going to take an extra swig of at each point just to get that little extra hydration. Um, which, by the way, my bottles are 24 ounces, not 20s, so I get a little extra anyway. Uh, they're a little bigger, that helps. All right, so at that point in time, you cross the highway, you are going to be at right about 10 and a half miles, maybe 11, about 11 miles of race
Right,
at that
right at
point.
11 at my
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time.
right at 11. Yep. From there, you've got about 10 miles to go to Berryman Campground. Um,
I mean, that's the camp. That's where I normally meet you guys at, right, Clint?
yep, that's where you normally meet us.
Okay.
So Berryman Campground is right at the, I can tell you exactly from the race. It's right about the 21 and a half mile mark, um, is where I'll get my second bottle handoff. Um, that section, that 10 miles, uh, there's a few tough climbs just because they're rough and get a little steep that are, once you get to about 3.5 miles away from Berryman Campground, there's definitely some sections you're going to be like, oh, geez, they're not extreme. Um, but again, about 4 miles into that section, There's the big Floyd Tower Road crossing. Again, if there's a roly-poly kind of guy that looks like he shouldn't be wearing that jersey because it looks terrible on him, but he's begging you to let him by at the road, please let him by at the road because the next mile is high speed and I plan to absolutely fly. So just throwing that out there. Um, okay, so we get to
Sometimes you
Berryman.
gotta let the big. Sometimes you gotta let the
Let,
big dog eat.
let the big dog, and the big dog been eating too much. That's why he's got to make up his time down the hills. Uh, all right, so we get to Berryman Campground. From Berryman Campground, if you are someone who doesn't is not crunched for time and doesn't mind refilling their water to save weight, from Berryman Campground, you have 7 miles till you get to what's called Beecher Spring. It's kind of a big open clearing down in a valley. There's a pipe with clean water that comes out of it from a well, from like an artesian spring. I've been drinking out of it for years. Have never had anything bad happen. If you want to refill a bottle there, you can. Um, from that point, you've got a pretty stinking good long climb um, to up to what we call Whiskey Ridge. Um, you're going to climb, climb, climb. And at the top, once you get up to kind of do the peak, Whiskey Ridge, you're almost at like right at 30 miles into the race. Um, about, yeah, somewhere thereabouts, 21 and a half to 30. Yeah. So so Whiskey Ridge, I don't know if there'll be anybody cheering there, handing out whiskey this year. Um, I will have probably not at actual Whiskey Ridge proper, but just past Whiskey Ridge, it's a really easy ride to where you cross Berryman Trail Road. Now on Trail Forks, that still shows as Floyd Tower Road. It's actually called Berryman Trail now, but it's really close to the intersection of Highway W and Berryman Road. Um, that's where I'm going to have Bryce hand me off another bottle. Um, so really my longest stretch of having just one bottle is from Berryman Campground to that section there. Well, actually, I'd say from Brazil Creek to the campground will be my longest stretch. Going to grab a bottle there, and then we enter what's probably my favorite section of the race for just making up time. We get to hit about, geez, I don't know. From there, that's mile 30.39. From 30.39 all the way down to 34 miles. So a little over, about almost 3 miles of absolute just flying. It's pretty flat, lot that's slightly downhill, followed by just really quick little punchy climbs that don't take too much out of you. Um, Very rocky and loose, but this is the one section of trail where local knowledge rules because there are a lot of sweeping turns that you can't see around that I know you do not need to hit the brakes for. But if you don't ride there often, you're going to think you need to hit the brakes because you can't see what's coming. So again, if you see the blue roly poly, uh, just follow him, let him by, mimic what he does, and you'll probably gain some speed through there just on pure rolling speed alone. Um,
Clinton, this is before the sisters, correct?
this is before the merge of the opening section of trail before you start heading backwards from how we started.
Yeah. Okay.
That real fast.
Yep.
Um, so
Yep.
after that section, you take a left and you actually head back on the trail that we started at the beginning of the race. Go back through the little creek, and then you start a pretty big climb. Uh, that climb feels like it takes forever. It's really 34.2. It's really only like a mile long. It's got some decent grade on it here and there, but it goes from 881 feet to you get up to the road. It's about a 300 foot a gain climb in a mile. Like it's a decent climb back up to the road. So 300 foot, not 300. That's my math's bad. Uh, I don't know. Hey, right. So Ryan's giving me grief for being too specific. Whatever. 270 foot climb. I don't know.
Your description of the race is going to take the whole time it's going to take to do the race.
bro. Okay, whatever. All
Don't
right, you
say we
hang.
aren't thorough.
We're
Hey,
halfway. We're halfway through the race, and we're 40 minutes in.
bruh. Okay, 2 mile. Okay, after you get up that climb, you get 2 miles of gravel. Um, it's far. It's I don't know what this road is. It just says Farm Service 2284. You take a left. That gets you up to Berryman Trail Road, where I'll be taking yet another water bottle from Silent Bryce, and then starts a long trek to the bottom of the Three Sisters, the dreaded Three Sisters climb that you will hit at 40 and a half miles. Um, this is why I run a 30 tooth chain ring on the front, people. Right here. This is it. The Three Sisters. Heck, I wish I could. I wish I could magically throw on a 28 tooth front chain ring for this. Am I wrong, Ryan? Do you ever feel regret that your chain ring's too big when you're on the Sisters?
No, no.
Wait, you don't?
Do I
Front
do
ring.
I regret that it's too big?
Your front ring. Do you ever wish it was smaller? What do you run up front? 32, 34?
Uh, I mean, sure. I guess you get on a couple climbs. You're like, man, you go to hit that shifter, and you're like, oh, it's already that I'm maxed out. Sure, sure. I agree with
Both you guys on 50 tooth cassettes or 52?
you.
52.
Mine's a 50.
Okay.
So I'm 30, 52. And I definitely use it on these Three Sisters climbs, and I'm happy to have it.
I think I did the race in a 32-52.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
All of it was a mistake, Clint. I'm never doing that race again.
Shut your face. You're doing it again. Someday. All right. So you get through the Three Sisters. Look, the descents on the Three Sisters right now, unless they go move some loose rocks or they just get knocked off from people riding, which they probably will, they're pretty sketch. I catch and pass a lot of people in this section. One, because I got that low gearing and I'm able to just keep churning up where a lot of people are pushing. And then just my knowledge of the downhills lets me carry a lot more speed because they are very narrow descents. They're probably some of the narrowest parts of the trail, I would say, where there's not a lot of room to work with. And it's leafy, little sketch. But hey, you get through those, you get back into the campground. There's actually a couple fun little side hit jumps in the campground if you've still got the energy to do it that I know about, that I might do just to raise my spirits. Think that kind of stuff's important in a race like this to find joy where you can, right, Kyle?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we get into the last bit. At 44 and a half miles, you are back at where you started the race at the entrance gate to Bass Resort. And then you've got 8 miles of what turns out to be pretty fun trail when you ride it fresh on a random weekday, but on race day feels like absolute misery. Um, you're going to climb asphalt for a good ways. It's going to take you up. You're going to climb, I don't know, 290 feet up asphalt because you go from 692, so we'll say 700 all the way up to over 900. Okay, so a little over 210 feet of asphalt climbing, followed by some mellow climbing gravel road. Takes you into a nice big long descent where I missed a turn the other day, but unless you're at the front of the race, that's not going to matter. You'll see where the track is. Uh, and then you start okay, this is important. At the bottom of that descent, there's kind of two like almost down up ditch crossings. You kind of hit a low point and kind of pop over a little rise, and then you go down and cross another dry creek bed. Um, when you come over that first rise, you better be downshifting because when you come down and pop out again, it's steep and it's also washed out now. The main trail, unless they go clean it up, will not be where you want to be. You need to have your eyes up and be ready to pick a side because now it's a washed out ditch full of bowling balls and softballs. So you come down the big, long descent after the gravel road. You keep your eyes open because if you're offline, it's going to cost you big time. Not saying you're going to crash, but it's absolutely going to kill your momentum that you need to pop up the real steep start of that next climb. Um, so just be ready for that. Um, somewhere in this section of trail, there are pointier rocks because if I do ever poke holes in tires, it's somewhere in this next bit. But this starts probably one of the longest feeling climbs of the whole race. Um, at 48 and a half miles, you start climbing and you climb and you freaking climb and you climb 240 feet before you get a break. And it kind of goes down a little. And then you keep climbing again all the way up to 950 feet, almost 300 feet of climbing. And this is the part where you want to die. But my advice, if you want to do your best, is go ahead and push it there. Almost empty the tank, because after that, there's really not anything that's too killer left. The climbs that are left are not too long. And if you know the trail, you've raced it before, and keep your eyes open, you can usually carry a lot of momentum into these next climbs that will help you get a decent way up them before you really start having to click down to your granny gear. And then from there, you 49.35, you got about 3 miles to go to the finish, and let her rip.
Mile and a half downhill, and then a half mile of crossing
Grass.
the finish line.
Yep.
How many miles is it total from entering into Bass all the way to finish?
From entering into Bass, so like the bottom of the last sister.
Yeah, so like whatever that gravel flat is before you head back up the road, like from the start of gravel flat to finish, how many miles?
From the
It's
start of gravel flat after the sisters is about 9 miles.
To
Because
finish?
you've got about a mile of flat gravel that then turns into a little bit of pavement back to like the starting line. That's about a mile. Real easy mile. But
Okay.
then from where the starting line is at the entrance of Bass, you've got 8 miles to go.
All right. So I think I'm probably going to try to see if I can do that ride. Clint, we might just jump in and try to follow you from that point through the finish.
Okay. I mean, that sounds fun.
Me and Connor. Yeah, yeah. Because we'll just wait. We'll just wait for you at Bass and then yell at you for eating ding dongs and high hos for the next 9 miles until finish.
There will be no ding dongs, and all my nutrition's in the bottle, but I'm gonna have 4 emergency gels in my pocket that I'll probably start hammering those gels right about that time to be like, I'm going into this last 8 miles already loaded up, and
I would.
try to
Yeah,
run
because I
that
mean,
sucker out to the finish.
those gels, I think I feel like gels are a 15 to 30 minute activation thing. Yeah, so if it were me, yeah, I mean, as soon as you got out of the sisters and hit that gravel flat, I'd peel a few gels and hammer them and just deal with it for the rest of the race.
Look, boys, when I listen to podcasters, professional racers talk about gut training and I can only handle this many carbs or whatever. The old Tubby Klint has yet to find his limit. So I never really seem to have a problem down in another gel or gummy or drink a carb juice or whatever. It doesn't really ever seem to be an issue for me.
How are we
Uh,
looking on for the recording?
I mean, I've got to splice them together, but we're fine. I haven't gotten the 10-minute warning yet.
Okay.
Oh, there. Speaking of, there's the 10-minute warning. Literally just popped up after I said that.
Oh man.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So, any questions about anything
Is
related to
there
this race?
All right, so just on a personal level, so what are you doing different this year in terms of bike setup or nutrition based on a result or information that you learned racing last year? Any changes from this year to last year? This will be your
Yeah.
fourth year racing or fifth year racing?
This is my 5th year.
Okay.
Okay, there are a couple major changes. As far as the bike goes, I've got the exact same rear tire as last year. I was going to run literally the same tire, but it has gotten so worn down. I'm starting to poke holes in it more easily. And the center tread is so low that it's actually engaging the softer rubber intermediate and side knobs too much, where I actually think it's rolling slower now because I'm riding on the side knobs. Like that's how much I've worn it down in the middle. So I have that exact same tire on the front of my bike that's like not worn at all. I just threw it on the back, and then I have a Maxxis Forecaster, just the XO casing, dual compound because I feel like that might roll a little faster on the front, just because I still want a front tire that works. And there's a lot of tires in that category I'd have been happy with that I just couldn't get my hands on fast enough, or like Ryan's the ground control T7. That's a great, I think, front tire for this race. Um, I couldn't tell
Kyle,
any difference in roll speed, so that's what I'm running up front.
hey Kyle, I,
Yeah.
you asked this question and you were probably thinking like fitness or training techniques
I'm
or anything.
getting there. I'm
And
getting
of
there.
course, Clinton goes into a tire thing.
I had a feeling that was where it was going to end up, and I was curious about that as well. But I didn't need to ask for him to say it. So
Here's the other thing that's changed, jerks. I mean, I have done more big mile rides getting ready for it where I felt good the whole ride. Um, I'm not carrying a pack at any point. I'm starting the race one bottle, and if I get all my handoffs, I should be one bottle the whole time. Uh, Good old Cade Pummel that did the podcast after last year with us kind of talked me into that. Um, I'm not even carrying a phone this year, so I'm really trying to minimize the weight on the bike. In fact, I'm going visorless unless it looks like rain for sure. Just to get that slightly better aero. Same with my jersey. I'm not running a loose trail jersey. I'm scarring everyone around me with my love handles in
I
my
mean, you
super
just
tight
packing a
jersey.
sausage in.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Might do a bunch of push-ups before the race just to get my chest popping, you know. The other thing I'm changing drastically is last year I big brained it and thought, hey, if I let wave two go for a couple minutes and then I go, I'll be by myself for a long time, and then I won't run into people and it won't be so dusty. And that was a huge mistake last year. I caught
Yeah.
lots of people that were at the very back of wave two that were I lost, I don't know how much time I lost last year. I should have been sub six last year. Like I had the legs to do it. I was angry at the end of the race because I wasn't exhausted yet. Like I was passing people left and right in the last 8 miles, like riding hard. This year, I'm probably going to go get in the front of the line of wave two, and I'm going to get blown by on the gravel road, and that's fine. But I'd rather start up front and get worked back than to be in the back trying to work my way up. Uh, and I don't feel bad about doing that because if you come up behind me and ask to pass me up a hill, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna say, hey, like right up here, come by. I'm not trying to hold anybody up because I've been held up and it makes me mad. Um, so that's my strategy this year. I'm not gonna hard start super hard. I did like a 40 miler one day with Brad and went for the 3 miles of uphill gravel road. I went 2 minutes faster than I ever have, including race days, and I cannot recover from that. Even though I did my rest of my ride, I felt terrible. So I'm shooting for going about 30 seconds faster on that section than maybe I did last year or on other days. And yeah, man, just it's not that I'm trying to be in the front. I'm just trying not to be in the back, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, like you said earlier, I mean, losing time because of your position is different than not being in the front. You know what I mean? Like if your time potential is suffering because you're not able to run the pace you want to in sections that it is easy for you to run that pace, versus having to chase something. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, when I literally last year, there were times I was hitting my brakes going up a climb to not run into people, and I was only on a 6 hour speed pace. You know what I mean? Like that ain't good. And yeah, I've definitely learned there's certain people that they are not going to help you get by them no matter what. At any point in the race, if you say, "Hey, can we find a spot?" There's certain people that are absolutely not going to help you out. But I will. If you're behind me and you say, "Hey, you catch me on a climb or whatever," I'll I'll make sure that we get a where you can get by me. I don't want to hold anybody up.
All right, Clinton. I think my time last year was 5:34.
Oh,
So
was it that? See, that makes me think, man, I don't know if I can get 5.5.
no pressure.
That's seems pretty fast.
I'll tell you what, you beat my time, you may just force me into racing for next year for sure.
But you were cramping. You went hard off the bat and were dealing with cramps like the whole way, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you still got 5:34. Like I'm really not worried about cramps as long as I have even when I did my hard start, I never cramped and that was like a 35 or 40 mile ride. Um,
Yeah.
and I went way too hard. Like I went way harder than I ever would normally. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get it or not because you just seem like you were in such good shape last year that I might be setting myself up for disappointment and I end up like 5:45 or 5:50 or something. And I'm like, wow, I was really dumb thinking I could get 5.5. But I don't know, man. I kind of believe this year, you know?
Go for it.
I,
Go for
I mean,
it.
No, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll be down there. I'm going to try to catch everybody at Berryman, but it sounds like just looking at the Granada Racing group chat, things are a little bit light this year. Ryan's not racing. John's usually pretty self-sufficient. Harry and Chloe are going to be doing their own thing. And a few of the other guys that are racing haven't piped up yet. So, Clint, if you're good to go at Berryman, I might just bail as soon as I see you roll through there and slap a high five. If Silent Bryce has got you supported, and then I'll probably just roll down and meet you at Bass, and then try to run the last section of it with me and Connor because he's never ridden that. And that was one of my most favorite sections of single track outside of the Sisters. Like as bad as the Sisters climb was, that section of single track is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And then
oh, it's got
that
some
section.
really fun stuff on it. I mean, there's a place that kind of rolls twice that if you're feeling it, you can like pull and double it, and it gives you a ton of speed into this next uphill. But then again, at that point in the race, usually you're so exhausted, it's just you don't see those things because you're just cross-eyed and
Yeah.
like
Right.
exhausted. But
Well, I know we gotta get signed off here in a minute, but I just wanted to tell everybody I'm sorry I'm not gonna be there, but good luck and kick some butt and
yeah,
have fun. And thanks
yeah,
to everybody that puts it on.
yeah, yeah. And as usual, if you have any questions, hit us up on Facebook or email us at okstmtb@gmail.com and we'll try to answer them. But yeah, I mean, could I do more? Yeah, I could probably set up my bike to be more take the chance on pure cross country tires, but I just don't see. I've never had one survive more than a mile out on Berryman, so I figure it's faster to be slightly heavier and not be plugging tires the whole race or tubing
Good
it.
call.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody, and hope to see you out there. And if you see me coming, we're almost at the top of the hill. Get out of my way.
Let's go.